Well, 8 weeks of regular season competition in 2 different leagues at the same time have brought us to today, March 25th, 2025, Week 1 of NECC postseason, the Eastern Playoffs, and Shenandoah University is gearing up to take on Concord University in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we could not be more excited to cover what could be one of the more exciting series we've seen all year long. Hi everybody, I'm Chris Clayton. This is Kevin Clayton. He's my brother. We get to cover a lot of Smash Bros. Here, but today feels a little bit different than the usual because we haven't been out here in an elimination match in a long time, specifically since last semester when Shenandoah was able to win their NECC group, which feels awfully deja vu, huh?
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, it just feels good to be back out here with the players. They've been a lot more active between rounds and have been getting really into it, really bringing the energy up in this space. So I am all for kind of feeding off of that energy to bring y'all a great cast tonight. But we are going to be talking about the matches and all of that here in just a minute. Chris, why don't you talk a little bit about the schedule?
Yeah, we've got plenty going on this week, not nearly as much as we had last week. If any of you were able to tune into that, that was a lot of fun. That was very chaotic. But this week we get to tone it down a little bit because we are in postseason for most of the things on your screen here. As we take a look back to yesterday, a certain CFGC Street Fighter player was able to split 1-1. Is that correct? I thought you went 2-0.
I went 2-0. I lost my makeup match today. So 2-1 is the final score, and still a beautiful score. And nevertheless.
Yeah, positive puts you in the blue. That is totally fine. But that brings us to today, right? We've got NECC playoffs against Concord, and if you want to tune in down the line, we will have Mossman tomorrow in CFGC and more playoff action with Rocket League taking on the University of South Carolina, and then Overwatch on Friday in their postseason starts. So exciting stuff all week long, and if you want to tune into any of that, be sure to drop us a follow so you don't miss out on when we go live. They will all be approximately this time since all the games start at 8 p.m. Or no, maybe not all of them, but tune in around this time and you'll see some pretty awesome postseason gameplay.
Yeah, great stuff all around, but I want to move back a little bit to the Smash Bros. Side of things, Chris. We have seen Shenandoah's roster really find their footing, get a really good team identity going for how they approach these crew battles, and have become very fluid in where they have, where each player has slotted themselves in these crew battles. They become a lot more adaptive. So, kind of moving into that, I'm excited to see what these players have now that we're in playoffs. Is there some sort of hard mix-up, or are we going to keep going with the game plan that's been working wonders?
Right, it certainly feels like we are getting used to seeing the lineup that we have on your screen, right? Far Rhombus coming in for AJ once again, so these will be the 4 you see today. Far Rhombus, Kip, Igloo, Willie on their respective characters that we've come to know so well. And we can take a look at how we got here, what's at stake here tonight, the bracket for NECC Eastern Playoffs, and there's some big names in here. If you've been following the NECC season, 4 teams from each of the groups have advanced into this bracket that you see on your screen, and SU coming out on top in their group with a perfect 6-0 record puts them as the 2 seed in this bracket under a pretty big name up there. Kevin, Winthrop University is in this bracket as well. Thankfully, on the other side of SU, because Winthrop certainly demands a certain amount of respect, and I want to point out as well, SU had a massive matchup against Lebanon Valley last week that went down to the wire. It was to determine first place in this group, and that win for SU now did keep them out of the Winthrop side of the bracket. So every little thing has mattered and brought us to this point. SU has a lot going for them, but nothing matters if they can't get through Concord here today. So we can take a look at Concord, see what the matchup for tonight looks like. Like we said, Shenandoah coming in with a nearly perfect record, perfect through series, only dropping 1 game along the way. I believe that was to Lebanon Valley. So that was a very close series, but on the other side, you've got a 500 Concord team that's looking for a big win here tonight against the Hornets.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about an opponent who should be very wary of Shenandoah's squad going into this. Doing their research, you have a good idea of what Shenandoah's roster has to offer. You're expecting that legendary Pac-Man usually to start things off. But when it comes to your answers, that has been tried and true the entire time we have seen this roster playing. It is, do you have an answer for this Pac-Man? And then do you have an answer in reserve for the remaining squad? Because if you don't have two answers in front of you, it can really hurt you in the long run.
Yeah, and we'll get into the players pretty soon here, but it sounds like we might have, or at least we might be expecting an answer to the Pac-Man here today. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but we do want to hear from the players before they get into game. It sounds like we've got Ben standing by with one of our superstar players, Willie. Ben, go ahead and take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris and Kevin. I am joined by Willie, our Kazia Terry player here on our Varsity Smash team. First things first, Willie, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good, and I'm really looking forward to play some Smash Bros.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a very fun matchup here tonight. You guys are seeded now. This is NECC playoffs now for the East Division. You are the second seed going into this bracket. How are you feeling about being ranked that high in this very tough group?
I think the second seed does mean a lot. It does mean we get like a slightly easier bracket path. I think ultimately because we were in the same pool as Winthrop Varsity, it does make our job even harder regardless of because we know if we want to win it, eventually we'll have to face them. But it does also put a little bit of ease for me, at least, to know that because we won our division last semester, it shouldn't mean that there's too much pressure to win this time, because we should be going to nationals regardless. But still, that doesn't mean we're not going to try to win, you know? And I think having a second seed in that position is going to be the best possible thing we can do for now, at least when we have such a titan of a team to go up against.
No, yeah, for sure. Now, on your side of the bracket, right, you have a familiar face. William and Mary, I believe, yeah, William and Mary are on your side of the bracket, right? They have that Wii Fit trainer that gave you a little bit of struggle last semester. What are you thinking about a possible rematch against that team if all the stars align?
Ultimately, I think the William and Mary match was really, really close, and a lot of it came down to surprise factor. Like, we didn't know they had a Samus, we didn't know about their Sephiroth, and especially we didn't know about their Falco, who ended up being one of the highest placing members of that team in that game. And I think knowing what to expect this time is going to help out a lot going into this next match. That is, if we win tonight at all. But, you know, it does help a lot to know what we're up against, and I think that surprise factor was a huge part of why we weren't able to close it out the first time. So I'm really looking forward for the opportunity to play them again.
No, yeah, for sure. Now, talking a little bit about the matchup here tonight, right? There's a Mega Man on the other side, which we've seen give this SU roster a little bit of some trouble, mainly with Stony Brook and Wichita here, years within the time of our Smash Bros team, right? So what are you thinking about kind of some of these matchups coming through with some of this Concord roster?
Honestly, Concord has a really unique lineup, because I feel like half of their team members really do well into countering the typical Kazuya play that I usually go for, but the other half really fall victim to it. So I'm really sort of on the fence as to which character to play tonight. As for Mega Man, I think that one in particular can be a little bit tricky with both characters. However, Terry does have the potential to out-offense Mega Man. If you're just able to keep hitting buttons, usually that's enough to take care of things like Leaf Shield. But it's going to be interesting for sure. I'm really looking forward to see how it goes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, good luck here for tonight's matchup. Hopefully it comes up with an SU win. Guys, back to you.
Looking to find their way back into the win column, where they have made themselves awfully comfortable. But exciting stuff, hearing all that from Willie. Plenty to be happy about, but a little bit to be nervous about again. I mean, we talked about this titan of a Winthrop team that won the national championship last year for Smash Bros. We got to watch a lot of their players in person at Boost on the Beach. I mean, that's an incredibly talented school, borderline professional players waiting on the other side of this tournament.
Oh, you can't help but feel just a little worried at that prospect of these players who you ran an event for, you got to see what they were made of, and I believe most of Shenandoah's Smash Bros. Roster who got the chance to watch those matches were in awe of what they saw out of players from Winthrop. But with all of that being said, you can't look too far ahead. There's one opponent in your way right now. If you try to look past them, they might knock the lights out of you.
Absolutely. You cannot sleep on what's in front of you. And we heard Willie talk about some of the William and Mary surprises that sort of tripped them up last time they played them, one of them being a Falco player that really gave them issues. Well, I told you a little bit before the interview there that we might have a team that may have the answer to this Pac-Man that's been causing everybody trouble. And the reason I said that is because Concord, we are expecting to have a Falco today. So if nothing else, yeah, we're expecting SU to get tested here today, but also a bit of a warm-up, a bit of a, put your toes in the water and see how you can deal with this matchup before we theoretically, potentially see William and Mary with another Falco.
Yeah, big thing with Falco is that you are dealing with a character who will just string long combos against you and has that really nice reflector. I can't imagine that Kip's game plan against that matchup works out particularly well just by nature of the ways Falco can approach. Jumps super high over the hydrant. So if you're going to deal with that, keep an eye on how they utilize this Falco player going forward. If it is for the Kip counterpick, that means that you're asking to take out Kip no matter what. But if you save it for something else, that means they put a lot of value beyond just this Pac-Man matchup. And frankly, they've got a pretty strong roster outside of this Falco, Chris.
Yeah, we can talk about some of the other players or some of the other characters that we're expecting to potentially see here tonight. And I've got my menu in front of me. It sounds like of the options that we know are on their roster, we're expecting a Duck Hunt, a Mega Man, an Aegis, or a Me Gunner. Same player, a Falco, a Bowser, or a K-Rool. Some combination of those. So if I had to bet, it seems like we will probably get those first four. That's where I've got my money, but anything can happen, and it's worth noting that those heavies are on the rosters. But a couple weird names. We said Duck Hunt, we said Mega Man. These are characters that we haven't seen at least in a long time, really, if ever, namely Duck Hunt is not a character that this team has to deal with very often, but we do know that we have a bit of a history against Mega Man.
Yeah, Mega Man is the kind of character who can be as flashy and in your face or play as far back as they want to. So when you're dealing with an opponent who truly can sort of control that momentum, utilizing the Leaf Shield, maybe some Saw Blade setups, you just need to be patient to start off your matches and then start utilizing what sort of habits they have with whatever style of game plan they use in those sorts of matchups. A little bit on the Duck Hunt too. It's very important that the projectile game, the cans, I forget what it's called, the side B, but it's a big factor to all of this, dealing as much damage as possible, and you can do it all from a distance. So it's going to be on the players to really take a step back again and maybe start slow, but go all in, be as fast as you can going forward.
I want to take a moment to shout you out for not being thrown off by me or whatever just happened behind us and breezing right through that thought. That was good. Yeah, so plenty to look forward to here today as we get to see some really unique strategies, unique characters, unique game plans coming into tonight. And, something to keep in mind, too, I believe all of our guys feel pretty comfortable against Duck Hunt as a character, but also the Samus, I think, kind of gets ruled out against Duck Hunt specifically, because Igloo did tell me that every single one of Duck Hunt's projectiles blocks a Samus charge shot, which is ridiculous, but something to keep in mind, absolutely. So, should be getting into game here pretty soon against Concord, who SU has some history with outside of Smash Bros. Shout out Concord as well, winners of Boost on the Beach, that LAN that we mentioned earlier that had a Rocket League segment. Hopefully you at home were able to follow along. And if you were, you know that Concord absolutely put on a show in Rocket League. So we'll see if their Smash team is able to do anything even close to that here tonight.
I mean, you want to talk about putting on a show. It wasn't just for the win. They got fancy with it. I am all for getting fancy with it if you can find opportunities to show it off, but you got to be very aware of that. You got to be aware that you shouldn't go for fancy if it means you won't guarantee your win. So finding a good mix with that is definitely going to be important. We are receiving word back here that the players are going into their button check to start things off. It is the Falco to start things off, Chris.
Yeah, it certainly looks like Concord did their homework, which is good news for Concord, considering that all of our matches are on stream and able to be found. So SU with not getting too crazy, throwing Kip out first. That has been what this team has sort of established throughout the year, but now I think we're getting baited. I'm going to ignore that.
I imagine we're getting baited. Yeah, okay. We're getting baited. It's all good.
Yeah, SU opting to not abandon the game plan, but Concord ready for it, and it looks like we'll get the matchup they want to start.
When dealing with this start, I understand that this isn't necessarily a matchup that is preferred by Kip, but that doesn't change the goal of the mission. If you're sending in 2 players into a crew battle, someone's got to walk away with 3. Whoever loses wants to walk away with 2. If that plays out exactly like that, you're not out of this game. And frankly, if Shenandoah goes down, there's a star-studded lineup behind us ready to sort of get in there and cause some havoc, but that goes the other way around. If Kip can get through this Falco, we've seen him run away with games. This starter for both sides is going to be a huge factor going forward.
Yeah, massive tell of the series right here. Litmus test of what we might see for the rest of the evening as we load into game number 1, our first matchup of the night. Shenandoah University taking on Concord from Athens, West Virginia, looking to find a win in round 1 of playoffs.
Yeah, and look at this already. Scarlet X is doing a really good job of keeping the pressure on Kip and utilizing the fire hydrant being up on that platform. There's no game plan to get started there. So now Kip needs to slow things down, find the spot next to the hydrant, potentially jumping around Falco a little bit, getting a little bit of momentum back, but is trying to punish this sort of aggressive playstyle from Scarlet X so far. But great spacing means that Kip is getting a lot of good momentum to match. Both players sitting at around 60%.
Yeah, good looks there from both players. Falco ready with the reflector to try to deal with the hydrant. Kip ready for the reflector and opts to just hold his forward smash as long as possible. So good offstage interactions. Both of these players clearly ready for this matchup. So we approach the 100% mark both ways. Kip still at about 60, not approaching 100 yet, but looking pretty good so far. Does find the dash attack 2-frame, and can he make it back? I believe he can. Can't find another 2-frame. Hydrant lands, though, 140% now on this Falco. As, man, Kip can't quite find the setup, but does find that one. Not ready for it, though, so 146% clinging to life is this Falco.
Man, that setup was foul, Chris.
Yes,
that red trampoline could have spelled disaster for this Falco. So now sitting at 156, bells flying, the back air connects, and Kip secures the first stock against Concordia.
Yeah, good stuff there from Kip, securing the first stock of this series, and what we know really is a pace setter, pace car for the rest of this series. And so now did take a lot of percentage. Scarlet X doing a great job of hanging with him so far, but now the game has slowed. Both players opting to keep space between each other. Falco able to get back and find the up air on his recovery. But again, the game has slowed quite a bit. The percentage has really not been climbing like it did in the first 30 seconds.
Oh, Chris, we just saw a forward smash from this Falco player. I think that they're struggling to find a way to close out this stock against Kip. They don't know what the best option is. Kip has been doing a really good job of dodging these up tilts and gets hit on the side special off stage, potentially looking to close out the stock that way. Instead, it ends with a reversal. This was the matchup we were worried about, Chris, and yet SU, Kip is looking great.
Yeah, Kip looking awfully uncomfortable, and it certainly looks like bad news for Concord so far. Now Kip clinging to his first stock still. This is a big hurdle to have to get over, and this is crew battles. This is not just a 1v1. Any stocks you're able to take, but we talk about percentage left on the board too. Concord dangerously close to losing out on a whole player's worth of effort if Scarlet X can't take this stock soon.
Yeah, we do see Scarlet X feeling the pressure to recover high. Does find the ledge, but hit by the bell. Almost eats the side B, but it goes a little high, which means that Scarlet X will find the up air to close out that stock.
Yeah, well done by Scarlet X, falling out of that one and ready to respond with an up air. Great awareness. So we do see a first stock taken off Kip. First of many, hopefully, for Concord, but so far not the trend we're seeing, as Kip is dangerously close to putting this last stock away. Cycling his fruit, hydrant down, looking to occupy space and again slow the game down.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from Scarlet X. I was expecting a much more aggressive sort of approach, a lot more jump in, up tilts, and combo starters. Instead, they're taking the slower pace. They want to make sure that whatever happens, they can take full advantage, but when you're sitting for too long, there's a Pac-Man and an apple in the ceiling, and you will be sent flying.
That's a new one for me. Kip never ceases to amaze me with some of these setups. And yeah, setting an apple comfortably on the platform and confirming an up air, or an up throw, into it. Good stuff. I mean, we know that apple is deadly. That's been the biggest surprise, really, of the last calendar year of Kip's Pac-Man gameplay, is how this apple has really found its way into the kill threats from Pac-Man. But that's a new one, and one that now everybody's going to have to be aware of on top of the 60 other Pac-Man confirms.
Yeah, we saw a couple of really nice Galaga setups as well, where it would fly up on the platform and then reset, but still have an active hitbox and cause a combo off of that. We saw off-stage interactions with the power pellet and just going for that side special, eating it, and armoring through whatever Falco had going on. I mean, that was beautiful way to start this, and again, that's a problematic matchup out of the way early. Kip is the kind of player who can run away with it. He's going to be earning a lot by the looks of it.
Yeah, dare I mention that just last week or 2 weeks ago, Kip did have 2 12 stocks within like 24 hours of each other. So to say that this player cannot run away with it, like you said, would just be false. And that's a scary place to be, is down against SU with Kip still in the game. That's a dangerous man. So as long as he's got 1 stock to work with, that's a big threat. And with the matchup they wanted, with the matchup we assumed they wanted, now down and out, I don't know who looks better between an Aegis, Mega Man, or Duck Hunt. I feel like it would have to be Aegis.
Probably.
Personally.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine the Duck Hunt wants to go in now. I don't think it's necessarily a bad matchup. I think they can just get more value later on against some of the other characters. I imagine Jigglypuff could be a potentially difficult matchup for, or a good matchup for Duck Hunt, excuse me. But all of that is very crazy to think about. But even so, Chris, we're getting word in back of house. I think we are getting mixed once again.
Okay. Yeah, so it looks like the research was a little bit off, and that's totally fine. As we load into our second matchup here, surprise, right side of your screen is not any of the characters I listed 10 minutes ago. So, Lucina is the answer. Logan King Boo, the player who we thought was Aegis or Me Gunner, pulls out the Lucina. So, surprise. Here we get another sortie, just not the Aegis we were expecting.
I feel like Lucina is the kind of character where nobody admits that this matchup can be difficult, but I do think that in the right hands, a Lucina can cause a lot of problems. A very good tech chase situation there means that Kip will be able to even out the percents, but once Lucina gets this neutral game going, gets a couple of forward airs, I imagine it will be hard for Kip to find a game plan. Unless Lucina approaches like that, the water pushing Kip back means that that bell will connect and secure another stock.
Yeah, great spacing from Kip with the hydrant occupying so much space. We say it all the time. That has to be one of my favorite phrases up on this desk when casting Smash. Occupying space. Because that's what this hydrant does. That's what Pac-Man is so good at and what characters struggle to deal with. Lucina forced to just approach over the hydrant and gets set up perfectly for a bell to the face. So good stuff out of Kip once again. Logan King Boo now just struggling to bring this back. 8 stocks to 11, the total stock count, and Concord's falling behind.
We do see a good apple connect. A couple of up airs thrown out, keeping Logan King Boo out of the way. And they are feeling the pressure to approach. But, I mean, hydrants and bells are flying into your face. It's such an awkward spot to be in. The neutral get up, getting caught by the bell. A bell thrown down along with the hydrant. But Logan King Boo doing a great job of finding the opening to get back to the ledge.
Yeah, and getting caught on all of the get-up options. Kip is all over this one so far, but does catch a forward smash. Won't go down yet. Pac-Man a little heavier than you might expect. So back air off the jump. Still won't go down yet. Trampoline is consumed by Lucina, but Kip able to put another one down. No problem yet as he starts yet another Galaga combo. Gets Lucina off stage, and this could be dangerous. Logan King Boo can't make it back. Drifting away from what looked like another forward air string from Kip. Can't recover back to the ledge. Can't make it to the grab. And just like that, Kip takes 3 stocks and didn't even lose one along the way.
And that's the thing, Chris. You had a moment there where Lucina was feeling the pressure. Kip at over 100%, wanting to secure the stock. It's trying to hold on to their own. Holds backwards, trying to make sure that whatever Galaga combo stuff, I'm not holding in. We're not going for a whole ride off into the blast zone. But Kip takes a step back and says, I think you went a little too far off.
Yeah, and how about the awareness too? Like it's so easy to tunnel into opportunities like that with characters that have such linear recoveries. You know what Lucina has to do in that situation, so you could position yourself and take her off stage. But Kip, yeah, knowing the situation, knowing that she can't make it back, bails, and knowing that she has to run away from me, she has to respect that option, boom, falls to her death, and with little to no effort off stage, Kip, great awareness, great heads-up play, and now finds himself, again, what did we say? This is a dangerous place to be. When you lose that first matchup against Shenandoah and Kip is still in, it can cause disaster for your team.
I mean, every time we see Kip, there are guarantees. Kip does phenomenal, a ton, almost every time we see him on this broadcast, but also we're seeing more and more setups again, Chris. We're seeing new stuff brought out for playoffs. I saw him throw Galaga down at ledge. Could have charged for the belt. No, just decided, you know what, we're going for Galaga down at the ledge. I'm like, this is a different Pac-Man. This is a dangerous Pac-Man. No one knows how to deal with this one. It's crazy.
You know what it is? It's a 21-year-old Pac-Man. A Kip coming off a birthday recently, just last week, and now we are receiving word once again that now at least half my research will be wrong for this set, as Jay the Knight is the answer to try to put out this fire that Kip has started, and it's on Piranha Plant.
Okay, let us acknowledge Piranha Plant doesn't have the best history in Ultimate, but within the last month, I'd say, Chris, there's been a new tech found on Piranha Plant.
Really?
You can cancel the animation of Patui. The best move that Piranha Plant has, frankly, the reason why the character is considered to even have a crazy game plan to start. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of that today, but to start things off, both players trade a ton of percent, one into the other, and 83 on the plant, a 51 on the pack.
Yeah, so far, Jay the Knight not having much of an answer. A lot of that percentage coming from the poison, that side B that can just melt through your health. But now, Piranha Plant up over 100%. You saw the matchup preference too for a second there. Kip couldn't feel better about this one, and we see exactly why. The Hydrant able to just connect off stage. Piranha Plant, again, one of these characters with a very linear recover option, and just like that, Kip able to take advantage once again and is well on his way to wreaking havoc through this Concord roster.
Yeah, we are seeing a couple of good setups here. Kip doing a good job of really controlling the center stage, not letting Jay the Knight get anything too crazy. A lot of Patuis and down specials from the Piranha Plant, and that's just the nature of the character. You deal a lot of shield damage, you get a ton of value off of it. But you don't have great ways to deal with this Fire Hydrant, and it will lead to setups like that. We see Jay the Knight sitting at 139, having to sit at ledge, not trying to contest the bell on any sort of get-up, but does find a really nice setup off of Kip's own Fire Hydrant.
Yeah, how about that one? But Kip with a response, a key off stage, and now the apples are coming out. Kip's got red in his eyes, and sure enough, a down air will do the trick. So, Patui in hand, Kip able to dodge that one, but not the second one. Doesn't get knocked back much from that one, and now has an opportunity to go for a Galaga combo. The percentage racking up again, and what did we say in matchup number 1? These opportunities, this percentage left on the board, that now Jay the Knight is tasked with getting rid of this stock before losing all the effort that he's put in so far. But Kip looking to stop that one, but a jab still doesn't kill even with the help of the Hydrant.
Ooh! That hurt. That hurt me a little bit. I don't think anyone was ready for the Piranha Plant down air there, but it will secure another stock for Concord in this series. We do see a bit of a clang between the bell and the Patui. I mean, lots of projectiles are flying, Chris, but it's nice to see that they're playing it a little slow. Again, Jay the Knight really taking the time on the ledge, not going for anything too crazy.
What?
Does eat an apple, but it won't be enough to take out just yet.
Yep, and a back air on the ledge might have been survivable, but not in that instance, as Kip takes down yet another player and now forces Concord to their last option with still another stock on the board. What did we say? As long as he's got one, he's dangerous.
Man, I was expecting Patui cancels, Chris. I wanted to see the crazy, like, people have been getting, like, wild with that sort of stuff.
I bet.
Igloo and Willie made a funny comment earlier. They're like, congratulations, the character's gone from bottom 5 to bottom 10. It's beautiful. But
all right.
with all of that, I mean, we saw a little bit of highlights there from the Piranha Plant. I mean, they were able to find poison setups, get good damage going, trade with Patui a couple of times. That is your best move on that character. It will carry you through any given matchup. But Kip very deliberately going really high up, dancing above the maximum height of the Patui, throwing down fire hydrants, having them clank so that the animation's canceled, and then hitting Piranha Plant on the way down. It's just hard to deal with this Pac-Man right now, Chris.
Yeah, Pac-Man really, or Piranha Plant, excuse me, really does struggle. A lot of the times we see that character come out, and that's something that we heard Igloo talk about a little bit yesterday. If any of you were able to watch the Street Fighter stream, Avery got surprise interviewed, and he talked a little bit about Piranha Plant specifically. I forget how that even came up, but he mentioned that it's just a shame that, he played him a little bit when Piranha Plant came out, and never again, because it just doesn't really work. So, unfortunately, Concord couldn't make it work that time around, and now really, with their backs against the wall, has one player left, and it looks like it's going to be a heavy to try to take it down Pac-Man.
If I had to bet between the two heavies that would go into this matchup to close things out, I wouldn't expect it to be this one. It looks like Bowser will be going in next against Kip, and while Bowser is the kind of character who is probably the best out of the heavyweights in just pure presence, has great movement speed despite being a heavyweight, has a great forward air, couple of command grabs, like great be out of shield. Bowser has the tools, but I also know that Kip acknowledges there are some funky stuff with the K-Rool matchup, and so I wonder if K-Rool may have done more for Kip. Maybe the Bowser's looking to the future, saying, I can try and really blow this crew battle out of the water, deal with this Pac-Man, and keep things going, but there is a couple other scary players that Shenandoah has in reserve. I'd be curious to see who they send in for this Bowser if it hits that point, but for now, we're sitting on Kalos. We got a high ceiling, Chris, and Bowser is not always a fan of that.
Yeah, I get to be selfish here and say I at least got two of the characters right, as the final character, the final player, Trey Day Max on the Bowser, looking to snuff out this momentum and at least get some information out of Shenandoah, carry it into the next set. You really hate to see a player go 12 stocks on you, because not only is that a morale killer, but strategically you don't know what else there is to get over. So Trey Day Max just looking to get over the first hurdle, but so far, Kip unable to confirm that one. So Trey Day Max lives to see another day.
King of the Koopas is a big body, Chris. You're dealing with a character that is going to eat a lot of percent throughout all of this and is going to have to find creative ways to deal with that bell. Otherwise, you'll be sent off stage in these interactions. Kip is fine playing this game long. It is all good to play it patient, because Bowser, yes, you're heavy, but how are you going to get around this game plan?
Exactly. What do you do with that fire hydrant in your way? Kip so far has yet to really be punished for it. And one of the things Bowser does have going for him is speed.
Wow.
And we haven't seen the speed find its value yet, as the apple knocks the hydrant over, catches the jump. Another gorgeous setup out of Kip as he finds the first stock, and only taking 32% along the way. He's well on his way to doing even more damage to the stock count on Concord here.
Yeah, we do see a neutral special come out from the Bowser trying to beat out that projectile. It doesn't work that way, so Bowser will be sent off stage this time around. Hit by another fire hydrant. Galaga's being thrown left and right. I mean, the percent is building once again. The forward smash connects. It won't KO, but the bells are back online, and I don't know how you get past it as Bowser.
Yeah, and how oppressive are these fire hydrants, man? Trade Max just desperate to find an answer, but none of them have been able to work, whether the hydrant's directly at the ledge or sitting somewhere else. I mean, look at that. Trade Max just struggling to even get away from them, let alone get through them, and does catch another bell there, and the was that back air does confirm once again. Kip one stock away from yet another 12 stock performance in the bag.
I mean, it would be a crazy thing to have Kip take another crew battle this way, and it is very doable. Look how difficult it is for Bowser to secure this game plan, but Kip is getting to that percent. Currently sitting at 82, Bowser may be able to find the last couple of hits needed to close out this stock. It would be maybe one forward air and then that command grab that is so dangerous. Beyond that, though, look at how Kip is spacing this, not wanting to deal with any sort of up B out of shield shenanigans from this Bowser player. Instead, saying, if you're going to approach, you're going to get a lot of pressure from me as a key and a hydrant are thrown into your face. Here comes the bell, Chris, and we are back to what we have seen each and every time.
Yeah, and look at the pressure that Kip is able to apply by not even moving. Like, Bowser has to be the one to initiate at some point, but how do you get through the hydrants? How do you get through the bell? How do you get through all of these options that Pac-Man has? Able to set up the hydrant again into the grab. It won't confirm this time. 164%, the magic number on this Bowser. And for the first time, it feels like this matchup, we see Kip off stage, but Trade Max not able to get much from it and throws the fruit directly into the hydrant, snipe way downtown, and finds the 12th stock in an incredible run, taking set number 1 off Concord.
That is another crew battle sweep in the pockets of this Pac-Man. I don't understand, Chris. How do they keep doing it?
5 big booms from the gang behind us as well, as you saw on your screen. I mean, that's impressive. That's a problem. Concord now with not even an answer to the Pac-Man, but let alone no answers on who's waiting in reserve. Big hill to climb if you're a Concord, but you're going to have to put that one behind you because this is playoffs. This is it. Backs against the wall. Concord's going to have to dig deep and find an answer now.
And if you're looking for an answer, you have a little bit of information ahead of time. You know your players who were able to take a stock off of Kip. You had your Falco and you had your Piranha Plant who were able to secure
yeah,
stocks.
You're right.
And so take that information how you want it. Do you think Shenandoah is going to send in their Pac-Man player first, or do you think they hold it in reserve with the idea that this player will take out all of you no matter where we throw them? Let's get some players more experience in some of these tougher matchups. Either way.
Exactly. Every single time. We said that Kip has now done this exact performance multiple times in the last couple days, let alone in his whole Smash career, or collegiate Smash career. And every time it's happened, SU has pulled Kip out. They don't let him go back-to-back because, in theory, to give other players the playtime, let them warm up for future matches and get whatever momentum they may need. So you have to think that SU's probably going to pull Kip out here based off previous trends. And what do? At least in recent memory, they put Far Rhombus in. And it certainly looks like that's the direction we're headed. It seems like it will be Far Rhombus on his patented Jigglypuff. And we have the first player from Concord. It will be Scarlet X looking for revenge on the Falcon.
And this matchup is one that I would argue favors Falco a little bit more. I said that the matchup is difficult for Kip when it comes to Falco Pac-Man, but it's not necessarily Falco favored. It's just something that Kip has some problems with the matchup and can easily, like, if you find those openings, it can cause problems. This time around, I do think that this falls more into Falco's hands by nature of Jigglypuff tries to sit in that awkward spot Chris, I'm going to use you as an example.
What do you need me to do?
Jigglypuff sits in this awkward spot up here.
Okay.
Where,
And what do I do?
I mean, well, that's the thing, right? Is that some characters don't know what to do in those situations. But Falco has a really nice up tilt that covers that entire space.
Yeah.
With all of that,
Good
it
visuals.
makes, yeah, right? With all of that, you can really shake up a Jigglypuff game plan, and Jigglypuff doesn't want to really play it slow if they can, at least in Ultimate.
Yeah, it certainly felt like the first time we watched Scarlet X play, it felt like they were the ones that at least kept it the closest with Kip through their whole matchup, and Kip ended up walking out still with 2 stocks in hand, but it certainly felt like that was the biggest player to keep an eye on. It was just a shame that we saw them go or bow out early. So with an opportunity at revenge and their spring semester on the line, Scarlet X loads in here against Farambus in what will need to be a set win for Concord.
Yeah, and there's that combo game that we were expecting to see the last time around. Falco eating a lot of percent to start things off, but does find one opening, finds an up tilt, and look at that. Went from one up tilt to 70%, another up tilt into a back air that almost KO'd Chris. That is the strength of this Falco as a character and as a player. They're doing a really good job of not letting this first crew battle phase them, and is really bringing the pressure this time around.
Yeah, it certainly feels like what I mentioned is true, that this player was really something to look out for, and now with an opportunity, you said it, and what seems to be a strong matchup on paper, Scarlet X looking to bounce back and doing a great job so far, but Farambus really seizing the momentum back after what looked like a strong start from Scarlet X, bringing the percentages back much closer than they were as we reestablish that Jigglypuff game plan. Float around, throw aerials, and wait till one of those hitboxes connects.
And that's the thing. We're seeing down tilts now come out from Farambus, or from Scarlet X, excuse me. It was the percentage. When Falco's up tilt is a great combo tool for a while, but there does come a point where you should start using down tilt to secure the stock because it won't combo with the up tilt. So we see it there. Scarlet X showing off that character knowledge and keeping the pressure going. But now Farambus finding a good opening, sending Falco off stage, does get hit by the get up attack, which means we will be reset back to neutral. Farambus doing a good job dancing around what Falco has going, but instead Scarlet X eating the up air and will still hold on to the stock for a little while longer.
Yeah, now the one struggling to finish stocks off seems to be Farambus. We saw when Scarlet X had to take on Kip, he seemed to be the one struggling to finish stocks. Well, now Farambus goes down, spiked by the side B. So 147% clinging to life, but really not feeling much danger until now. Jigglypuff goes crashing forehead first into this Falcon and is able to take a stock off.
And this is a great spot to be, whether you believe it or not, Chris, because Farambus is playing a character like Falco who can get a pretty good amount of percent built off of one good hit. So with Farambus finding a good down air, does go for the back air. It won't combo this time around, but that is the kind of play that is needed to potentially bring this back, as we see Falco air dodge and go for the nair off stage, sending Farambus a little low as they are able to grab the ledge. Going for the dash attack, does eat a little bit of percentage. Farambus going for the roll-in, but the Scarlet X up smash will be able to close out that stock this time around. Shenandoah going down 9-11 in this series.
Okay, well, we said that Concord was going to have to dig deep and find an answer, and it looks like Scarlet X is certainly a massive part of it. Looking very, very strong against Kip the first time around and Farambus now in the rematch. So Scarlet X, for the first time in this series, Concord with an opportunity to try to build something and push this lead into even more.
I think it caught Farambus a little bit off guard that this Falco player did have that combo game locked down the way that they did, because you play off of the information you're given in the first round of the crew battle. What we saw was Falco couldn't find a way in against Kip, therefore no crazy combo game, therefore you were Falco was a sitting duck.
Yeah.
So going into this match, that's what you play around, and then suddenly 70% off of one up tilt. Another up tilt connects, and again, in that sweet spot where Jigglypuff likes to hover, and it eats another couple of hits to lose that stock. It's just a very difficult matchup for that Jigglypuff.
Yeah, you really have to think that if Rhombus did match up into any of those other players we saw, that would be a much different result. But worst case scenario for the Jigglypuff, and unfortunately does go down, but did find a stock before going down. So what looks to be the biggest threat on Concord, at least to the eye test, now does lose a stock, so SU now forced to make a decision. Do you put Kip back in, or do you let the other players warm up their fingers a little bit? And it looks like we've got our answer, and it might just be the worst answer we could give Concord.
I mean, worst answer for Concord, best answer for Shenandoah.
For you and I as entertainment.
Yes. It looks as though Willie is making an early appearance and is deciding, I'm going to throw in the Kazuya. If you're going to play your combo game and string to 70, let me show you what I can do with my character as we move to Town and City and we get to see some funky stuff, Chris.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of watching Willie play a Kazuya Ditto yesterday, just like watching over his shoulder. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Just watching two Kazuya all over each other and do exactly this, but able to find kills against each other, as now Willie up against a Falco with an awkward jump, able to recover from that percentage. And did you see Willie get turned around there off stage? That was really interesting.
Yeah, that was auto turnaround at its finest, Chris. We do see one electric connect into the up smash to close out one stock against Scarlet X as we reset back to neutral. Scarlet X approaching with the forward air, using the lasers a couple of times, keeping the pressure going. One up tilt on the shield, one up tilt into the back air will secure a stock off of Willie as both players handshake and say, yeah, we both got some crazy stuff going, as the electric allows you to go through lasers, Chris.
Yeah, how about it, though? Scarlet X now matched up into this Kazuya, such an oppressive and strong character that put together one heck of a combo. And again, season on the line, a lot of stress in this situation, able to bounce back and steal that stock off Willie. Very impressive stuff so far from Scarlet X, and now racking up percentage in stock number 2, but Willie does find a grab. This is not where you'd like to be, especially
Chris,
with the platform running away from you. Willie able to take it all the way off stage and all the way down into the blast zone, clinging to 2 stocks of his own, and now all the momentum into the world into these next 3 players.
All that glitters is gold, Chris, and Willie is definitely sitting glittering gold with that Kazuya, making it all look beautiful in the process. One grab connects into the electric combo, 70% or so, and drags with the nairs down into the bottom blast zone. I'm telling you, it's a slight difference between 2 combos and 1 combo, but that difference saved Willie a stock.
Exactly, and it really felt like in that last combo, the only way out was the platform. Was Willie taking it all the way to the side, and Scarlet X landing on the platform and being given the grace of a tech situation to be able to run away from Willie. But in the moment where Scarlet X needed it most, the platform goes running off screen, and Willie's able to just drag this combo all the way off the stage and down, all the way down to the blast zone. Gorgeous stuff from Willie, not being phased by the platform, and a tough break, a tough timing situation from Scarlet X. If that combo started half a second earlier, we might still be in game right now.
Right, and that is one player from Concord who is taking multiple stocks off of Shenandoah's roster, just in general and throughout this series. Now you have to find an answer for Willie's Kazuya out of the characters that we saw before. We could see a couple of the players who hadn't made an appearance but we had talked about before, or, I mean, hey, maybe the Piranha Plant is on to something. Gee. Who knows? But you gotta wonder what your answer is, because I don't love the idea of sending in a heavyweight against Kazuya, which does knock out Bowser and Plant, so you send in what, Duck Hunt?
I don't know. Yeah, remind me, did Piranha Plant or did Lucina come in first?
It was Lucina who came in first.
Okay, so how do you feel about sorties into Kazuya? Being able to space around the electrics, is that even real?
It is real. It's a very important factor, and that's part of the reason why characters like Aegis do so well against Kazuya.
True.
But Lucina plays a little bit slower and a little bit floatier, I do think Kazuya can shark under the game plan a little bit better. We'll have to see if Lucina is going for full hop forward airs and if Willie will try to then go beneath. Truly predator versus prey, shark underneath and get a game plan going. We move to Hollow Bastion. Lucina makes an appearance. I do think this is probably the best answer of what we have seen so far to deal with this demon.
Concord still holding on to a stock lead here as player number 2 forced to load in against Willie, as Willie finding every hitbox in the book so far. Another electric connects off the ledge and can't take Lucina down with him, so living to fight another day. Logan King Boo, the response, a down smash, just raw. Another parried electric wind god fist. So Logan King Boo with a little bit of momentum going just for now, but back off stage and in an awkward situation.
Ooh, man, Logan King Boo doing a really good job of dancing around this Kazuya game plan. Not necessarily dealing with the sort of situations like trying to space out the aerials, instead playing a very aggressive approach, but Willie able to use the up special to secure the stock there, sitting at 83. Either way, this is a great spot to be for both sides as the stock count is evening up.
Yeah, kill button online now for Willie as he's able to find Lucina up on the platform, racking up percentage, and that up B able to get out of the combo once again. So it seems like that really is starting to cause problems for Willie, but this is kill territory now. The kill button offline, the critical art does go away, and the forward smash connects, taking stock number 2 off Willie. Concord finding some momentum for themselves now.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Logan King Boo, doing a good job of not fearing the Kazuya too much. There's a level of respect you need to give this character, but if you give him too much, it can cause problems, as we see there. One side special connects, and Willie is able to secure that stock as well as the grab connects. Here comes one electric, another electric. The nairs are just barely missing, though, Chris.
Yeah, pixels away from the success we saw against the Falco, but now...
Oh, wow. Chris, Willie was expecting the up special from the Lucina, but was called off. Instead, the up special showed up off stage and was just a little too far away from the ledge again. And they lose the sock flowing down slowly into the blast zone like last time.
Yeah, tough break for Concord's second player there, and I heard the confusion from Willie behind us. I don't know if you heard that. A very audible what right as they got off stage, but Willie ultimately walking away the winner, but not without losing one stock along the way. We certainly hyped Willie up to be a big problem for Concord, and they are snuffing that out quite a bit as they still lose the stock lead, and Shenandoah takes control. But Willie, still only one stock to work with now.
I was so excited to talk about adaptations there, because the moment we saw the trip move into the setup for the electric and see that up special come out again, Willie was ready for it this time around and was going to punish Lucina, doing a great job of being unfazed in that situation and walking away from it, taking that 50-50 in their favor. But sometimes the best places you can learn on how to continue your game plan are looking back at the mistakes that happened for you specifically, because that's 2 SDs off of recovery situations. Like, that's so unfortunate to say that 2 stocks in playoffs were lost to that.
Yeah, backs against the wall and no room for error. That's not how you want to go out. You'd rather the opponent beat you and not you beat yourself, and Concord certainly not helping themselves right now, but not out of it yet. 6 stocks still remaining, 2 players as only a 1 stock deficit. If one player is able to get this first stock off Willie, maybe reset percentages and tie this one up, still plenty of reason for hope for Concord, but they are, again, running out of mistakes that they can give, and with little to no options left, especially character-wise. I mean, dare you send in a Piranha Plant right now?
And you know what the scariest part about this is? We saw Piranha Plant with counterpick last time around. Piranha Plant's preferred counterpick stage was FD.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that's true.
You don't want platforms when you're playing Piranha Plant because it gets in the way of the Patooey a lot. You can combo off of platforms pretty well if you have that sort of knowledge going into it, some like funky up air into Patooey launch. It doesn't do a ton, but you can play around it. It's a very real factor. But with all of that being said, Final Destination, I'm assuming they're going to ban it. I think you give Kazuya the respect that the character deserves.
I agree.
But that does mean that you're not going to your preferred stage, and your back's against the wall right now. Not totally against the wall. It is 7 stocks to 6 right now, but there is the ever-looming Pac-Man menace in the background that you need to hold on to these stocks for and have the answer later on.
Right, you have to think that someone at this rate, best case scenario for Concord, is going to have to go 3 stocks against Kip. Head on, nothing to it. And if the first set is any indication of how that would go, I mean, you can't feel great about it. But that's the situation that Concord has, and that it's the situation that they're going to have to overcome if they are to stay alive in this series. We have the answer from Concord, and it's Bowser, a heavyweight, something you don't love to see go into a Kazuya if you're the heavyweight.
Chris, we're in for a show. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this one. Here we go. 1 grab, electric, 2 jab into the electric. Go for the down smash. Bowser is gone, Chris.
No.
Look at that. I'm telling you, we're in for a show. You do not have to deal with this Kazuya right now. You could have sent in the Piranha Plant instead. Chris, he's going down again. No, Chris, Bowser's going down. The King of the Koopas is looking like chump change right now. This is crazy.
Okay, I mean, the task is still the task. You came in here with a mission, and it's get 1 stock off Willie. That's not off the table. Terry Day Max really starting to set Trey Day Max, excuse me, settling in here, getting a forward air on Willie off stage. Kill button's online.
No.
Oh no! Willie can't make it back on stage. That was one of the Smash Bros. Matches I've watched of all time. And Willie bows out, puts the controller down, but not without taking 2 stocks off that poor Bowser.
I'm ashamed to say. You could probably see it on my face when we were going into game. My teeth were gritting because I knew that never ends well. I don't know if Piranha Plant would have necessarily done better. And frankly, Bowser got the stock. Like, Bowser is still in. Could find even more. I do think we are seeing Igloo in the hot seat, so like that's very much on the table. But it never feels good to watch a heavyweight just get stronger.
Unless you are a Shenandoah fan, in which case that was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's nightmare fuel. What's up?
Into the down smashes too.
I know.
Like a pure chop down. Like that doesn't work against a majority of the cast, and yet Bowser's big enough. He's like, all right, let's 60%. You're down. Like,
yeah.
It hurts.
And with characters like Bowser that don't have a recovery, I mean, we know that. Or we think that there's a King K. Rool back there somewhere too, and that might be able to recover from that low, but not the decision for Concord. So Bowser, Trey Day Max, gets the job done. All right, we said there was a mission. It didn't go as well as I'm sure they would have liked, but the mission was completed. So hurdle behind them, 2 more hurdles to go. The next one has a name, and it's Igloo. And what do we say? What do I say? He's cold-blooded. In situations like this, where Igloo needs to go in and just take care of business, he's never the flashiest on the team. You never see him going in 12 stocking, but it's because he doesn't need to. Igloo's very selfless. He is the captain of this team. He's fine with sitting back and watching his teammates succeed, but when his number gets called, he rarely falls short.
Right. I mean, every time we see either on the Dino or on the Space Bounty Hunter, it performs. We see great opportunities for Igloo to really just keep momentum in Shenandoah's pocket, making sure that whatever game plans are set up for the opposing team, it's like the ultimate disruptor or like continuation of what Shenandoah wants. So keep an eye on how Igloo tries to approach this matchup. You may not see tons of crazy strings. I mean, we are dealing with a heavyweight still, but I wouldn't be surprised if Igloo does try to slow it down a little bit with a couple of eggs and keep as much momentum in Shenandoah's pocket as possible.
Yeah, so we load in here against the Bowser. Igloo with a task in hand, similar to what we just saw now, headed the other direction, but you have to think, I mean, what did we just say? The room here has gotten much quieter because the man has work to do. Igloo with one stock ahead of him, taking some damage so far. Trey Max doing a great job of not giving the damage up like he did last time. You just saw the matchup preference as well on the left side of your screen. Not exactly Igloo's favorite, but yeah, again, you have to think that with a heavyweight like this, they don't have many options in situations like this, as Igloo goes off stage and keeps confirming these nairs, isn't able to find a forward air, but you said it, the double jump armor able to keep Igloo in those interactions.
And the one forward smash connects to close things out. Igloo going in on a mission, secures the stocks, and just looks good doing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's when there's a job to be taken care of, this is the fixer of this SU squad. When things are getting out of control, you see Igloo go in and set the record straight. And just like that, where we saw Willie start to get hot, and then, oh, whoops, we may have screwed up. Now we're down to just 2 players. Igloo says, nah, everything's fine. Goes in, takes care of business, and now is threatening to just put this series away. We've seen Igloo in situations like this. Again, what do we say? He takes care of business. Well, the business to take care of is now the series. This is it for Concord. One player standing in between them and the end of their season. Whew, tall ask, getting through 3 stocks off Yoshi and presumably 3 more stocks off the Pac-Man that just took 12 straight.
On top of all of that, the character that you have in reserve right now. We have seen every character repeat up until this point, which assumes that the last character in reserves is Piranha Plant. I mean, it's doable. It's very possible. Piranha Plant has some tools in their kit to really get their game plan going, can potentially stuff out Yoshi double jumps with Patui and the down special. It could all work into Piranha Plant's favor, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, not looking great at all. And this is where I hate to sit here and be a doubter. I hate to sit here and count any character out, but if it's me, I'm thinking you dig deeper than Piranha Plant. I don't know. Clearly, this player has a lot more faith in this character, and maybe the results to back up that faith, right? I'm sitting here because I haven't seen it. This player is on the team because maybe they've done it. So here I sit as we load into our next matchup in this series. Piranha Plant is the choice, the commitment from Concord as the Patui breaks that combo out. I mean, that's what we're going to need to see a lot of if this comeback is to happen.
Yeah, we do see no final destination this time around. We do have platforms, which means that Igloo will be able to sort of dance around this potential Piranha Plant setup. But at the same time, look at Jay the Knight looking for those back airs, trying to get Igloo off stage. Instead, eats a jab into the down smash. Igloo going for the ledge, goes off, using the nair to clank with the up special. The up air connecting as well. I mean, Jay the Knight is feeling the pressure and doesn't have the space to breathe. Igloo walking away, 70% still on the table, but a stock lead.
Yeah, not able to land, not able to get back to the ledge. You said it, Jay the Knight really feeling the pressure and showing that he is. Igloo looking awfully comfortable as now we string these combos once again. Back airs into up airs. Was that 4? I think I counted 4 as Igloo goes off stage once again.
Oh, no!
But no, a little too low. Isn't able to jump back up to the ledge, and Igloo making the job just a little bit easier for Jay the Knight as they get to take a breath and say, all right, it's only 2 stocks.
Yeah, you do have a lot of pressure on you. Igloo going real low, trying to make up from what we saw last time. Does get amazing coverage, trying to prevent Jay the Knight from recovering and keep that pressure going. but look at the percent buildup from the Piranha Plant. A lot of clank hits, Chris, where both players are trading back and forth, going for each other's moves, and both are connecting. Piranha Plant doing a good job of trying to even things out and hold on to the stock as long as possible, but there's a dino at the ledge, and it is throwing out its feet to really keep the pressure going.
Yeah, looking for the up smash. He gets spot dodged, but Igloo with a rare option. We really don't see that one often, other than opponents that like to shield. And Igloo catches Jay sleeping with the down B. So now 106% on this dinosaur, and does get caught by the Patui, but not dead yet. As now Igloo opts to go all the way to the far side of the ledge, not play against this ledge trap, but the Patui finishes that job. So 1 stock left for Igloo to work with. 1 stock to 1 in this matchup, but 3 more in reserve for Shenandoah.
Yeah, I mean, we do see Piranha Plant with a full poison locked and loaded. A good Patui does connect off stage. Couple more racking up that percentage, going for the down special. It won't connect this time around, but again, there are those clank hits, Chris. But the Piranha Plant is heavier than Yoshi. Being at a higher percent doesn't necessarily mean that you are in a worse spot when you have the weight to back it up, but we do see Igloo looking for that final hit, going for a couple of eggs, not approaching too much unless there's a spot to do so. Looking for the jab into the down smash, doesn't connect this time around. Instead, the forward air into the up air connects, and Igloo secures the crew battle 2-0 for Shenandoah.
He's a bad man. I mean, I say it every time. The pop-off from the crew behind him, and a small smirk from the man in the hot seat as he knows that he had it from the start. Igloo finishing the job, the fixer of the team, the glue that keeps this all together, and Shenandoah will be advancing in their NECC East playoff bracket.
It's a beautiful sight to see that the game plan that has been built throughout the semester is still paying off in dividends. Kip is an amazing player who can really cause problems in the forefront, shaking things up right out the gate, and secures an entire crew this time around. But when the other players are given a chance to equalize things, show their stuff, they also perform just as well. This is a powerful roster that Shenandoah has got, and I look forward to seeing their performance in the next couple of matches.
I feel the need to shout out a joke just came to mind that Igloo is the igloo that keeps this team together. Shout out Nolan watching from home for that one. Able to finish the job. Great stuff from the boys behind us. And yeah, like we said, advancing to their next round, playing or at least I can tell you, hoping for a rematch against William and Mary, that team that Shenandoah has not played against since regular season last semester, dropping that series in a close one, a heartbreaker that fell William and Mary's way. They met up in playoffs, and that match was not played out. So the rematch has not been able to manifest just yet, and we'll see if it does. But enough looking to the future. We want to hear how the players feel about that one. We've got Ben standing by once again with one of the stars of the series. Ben, let's see what he feels.
Thank you, guys. I am standing by with Kip, our Pac-Man god that we saw earlier here tonight. Kip, how are you feeling after that performance?
Felt great. It felt really good to bounce back from such a hard loss from ODU on Friday. But it felt really good just to get our movement back together, because I do believe we are a movement-based team, like a momentum-based team is what I mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, the momentum was certainly in your favor here tonight. It was 12-2. How do you stay in that mindset and keep that momentum going, specifically in that first series?
Really, whenever I'm in a situation like that where I have such a good lead, it's just kind of just see like how much damage I can do before I get taken out. And sometimes that kind of translates into the next game, into the next game, into the next game, and eventually it'll just come down to be like, oh, they're all gone. I guess that works too.
Yeah, no, they were certainly all gone. And then in that second series, right, we did not see you in that one, but we saw 3 of our players here. What was the mindset and the game plan kind of going into that second series? Was it kind of reps to get everyone warm and see what people can do?
I do believe that's what Igloo's intent was. Yeah, and maybe to try to save me for some of those characters that seem to be like really troublesome for them. Like I know the Bowser had a lot of difficulties with me, and especially that Lucina as well. The Falcon didn't do that bad versus me. I do believe he just needs some time to warm up. I do believe in the second series he played a lot more hot. He was playing a lot better.
No, yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Kip. Is there anything else that you would like to say here tonight before we sign off?
I just wanted to say happy birthday to my mom. Today is her birthday, so happy birthday, Mom. Love you.
Awesome. Happy birthday, Mom. Congratulations to you guys on your victory. We're going to send it back to Chris and Kevin to sign us off.
Hey, what a cutie. Shout out Kip Mom. Happy birthday, and happy belated birthday to Kip himself on quite a run here at the Shenandoah Esports Arena with multiple 12 stocks in his bag. Count them 3 in the last week or 2. I don't remember. Yeah, great stuff. He's on fire, and this is absolutely when he needs to be.
Going forward, just keep an eye on this, because there are going to be opponents who are going to really try and hold that momentum. But until then, Kip is the player who people need to find an answer for. Going forward in this tournament, if you don't have the answer for this Pac-Man, consider it curtains, because every time Kip delivers, is willing to go into the back, the players are still getting good reps, and we're talking about a phenomenal team all around. It is so important that you are ready for it. Otherwise, you are gone.
Yeah, Shenandoah solidifying, reinstating, reaffirming why they are the 2 seed in this bracket and well on their way to a very successful postseason appearance. But that will do it for us here tonight, live from the Shenandoah Esports Arena. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to drop us a follow on whatever platform you are watching on right now so you don't miss out on any of our future esports action, including all of the postseason action this week. But with all that behind us, I'm Chris Clayton. This is my brother Kevin Clayton. We will see you next time.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the Esports Arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the Esports Arena is the Esports War Room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.
Thanks, Chris. We have seen Shenandoah's roster really find their footing, get a really good team identity going for how they approach these crew battles, and have become very fluid in where they have, where each player has slotted themselves in these crew battles. They've become a lot more adaptive. So, kind of moving into that, I'm excited to see what these players have now that we're in playoffs. Is there some sort of hard mix-up, or are we going to keep going with the game plan that's been working wonders?
Right, it certainly feels like we are getting used to seeing the lineup that we have on what the matchup for tonight looks like. Like we said, Shenandoah coming in does go away, and the forward smash connects, taking
Not fearing the Kazuya too much. There's a level of respect you need to give this character, but if you give him too much, it can cause problems, as we see there.
the Falco, but now
Oh, wow. Chris, the Willie was expecting the up special from the Lucina, but was called off. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this one. Here we go. One grab, electric, two jab, into the electric. Go for the down smash. Bowser is gone, Chris.
no!
Have to deal with this Kazuya right now. Could have sent in the front plan instead.
Oh,
Chris, he's going down again.
No! Carry Day Max really starting to set Trey Day Max, excuse me. Settling in here, getting a forward air on Willie off stage. Kill button's online. Oh no! Willie can't make it back on stage. That was one of the Smash Bros. Matches I've watched of all time. And Willie bows out, puts the controller down, but not without taking 2 stocks off that poor Bowser. Keeps confirming these airs. He's able to find a forward air, but you said it, the double jump armor, able to keep Igloo in those interactions.
And one forward smash, cut mash. Igloo going for the ledge, goes off, using the nair to flank with the up special. And the up air connecting as well. I mean, Jay the Knight is feeling the pressure.
Looking awfully comfortable. Now we string these combos once again. Back airs into up airs. Was that 4? I think I counted 4 as Igloo goes off stage once again, but no.
Things out and hold on to the stock as long as possible. But there's a dino at the ledge, and it is throwing out its feet to really keep the pressure going.
Yeah, looking for the 2, but not dead yet. As now Igloo opts to go all the way to the far side of the ledge, not play against this ledge trap. But
Igloo looking for that final hit, going for a couple of eggs, not pushing too much unless there's a spot to do so. Looking for the jab, down smash to connect this time around. Instead, the forward air into the up air connects, and Igloo secures the crew battle 2-0 for Shenandoah.
he's a bad man. I mean, I say it every time. The pop-off from the crew behind him, and a small smirk from the man in the hot seat as he knows that he had it from the start. Igloo finishing the job, the fixer of the team, the glue that keeps this all together, and Shenandoah will be advancing in their NECC East playoff.
Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep